Well, hey everybody, it's Daniel from Walker.
And I'm Tom.
Hey, it's great to be together again for another Walker Talk video edition. And man, do we have some awesome things queued up for this week.
Yeah, a factory tour.
Man, Tom, you can't just blurt it out like that. We gotta ease into these things.
I know. I couldn't help it, but I just love going out into the shop. And I used to work out there for a few years. And I just love getting to show all the amazing people who help to make the Walker mower every day.
Well, I can't blame you, because they are an amazing team. And in addition, we have some amazing submissions from you guys that we're gonna show off this week.
Yeah, an interview, right?
Right, so we've got a ton to show. So man, let's get right to it.
Let's go! Well, hey everybody, we're gonna dive right into it. We shot a quick trip through the factory last week and I can't wait for you to see it.
Right, many of you have paid us a visit in the past and you've seen these things firsthand. But if you haven't, we think you're gonna love it.
Yeah, we didn't get to show you everything, so if you like what you see here, make some comments below and maybe we'll get to do some more in the future.
Right, well let's get right to it. Let's roll.
Hey Daniel, here we are at the front of the factory, and we'd like to go out there and go interview a few people, kind of go on a little tour. Is that okay with you?
Right, perfect. So what do you say I film?
Yep.
And then like you're all prepared.
I am, I'm ready. I got the microphone and everything.
You can introduce us to a few people online.
Okay. Hi Caden. So Caden, what are you working with today?
So right now I'm doing the sheet metal shear. This is where we take all of the raw material and sheet metal and it gets cut down, sent to punch, trim notch, usually bend. A lot of the sheet metal goes to the catcher box.
All right, so why don't you show us? Why don't you go ahead and take a piece and show us how it's done?
The job he's doing is the side clip chute mount, and those attach the catcher box to the chute.
Okay. All right, perfect.
Yep. And these got cut on the sheet metal as well.
Okay. So they're cut on the sheet metal first, and then they come over here, and we're gonna punch some holes in them.
Punch them,
right?
yep.
Okay.
And then after they get punched, they'll get bent in a 90-degree right in the middle.
Okay.
And then they'll go to assembly, and they'll get drilled through plastic onto the catcher box and the tube that leaves the catcher box.
So there's quite a few processes that happen with this one little piece that gets put on the catcher box. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay. Awesome. This is great. Cool.
Yeah. And then everything over on punch gets measured by calipers, and we stay in 10,000ths.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Wow. Our fab department is precise. Keeping things within 10,000ths, that's amazing. So, Caden, thank you so much for showing us what you do. We appreciate all the work you do.
Yeah,
so
thanks.
Keep it up, okay?
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, Daniel, so that was great. We were just in the fabrication department, and now we've walked into the weld department. Let's go talk to Georgia, who's over here real quick. So come with me. Hi, Georgia. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. So here we are with Daniel, and we're gonna just talk with you a little bit about what you do here in the weld shop. So what are you working on today?
I'm working on the catcher support frame for the Model T at the moment. So it's not finished. It's supposed to have a backing piece, but this is like the frame that goes in it.
Okay. So would you mind showing us kind of how you start that process and how you do that?
Sure.
Okay. All right, that looks good, Georgia. Now, so you're clamping everything down so it stays put while you weld, is that correct?
Because everything needs to be flat on the other side so that backing piece can go up on it.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay. All right, awesome. Well, do you mind welding it up for us then?
Sure.
All right,
I don't mind.
let's take a look.
Okay.
All right, Georgia, this looks good. How long do you think it takes you to do this process then?
Maybe about 10 minutes.
10 minutes, okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad. You're
No,
fast
it's not
welder. Okay, maybe one last question before we let you get back to your work,
Okay.
right? Can you tell us a little bit about the gas or the different things that you're using to actually weld?
We use a 75-25 gas, so that's 75% argon, 25% CO2.
That's great. Is this MIG welding or TIG welding?
It's MIG.
MIG, okay.
Yeah.
Great, awesome.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you again so much.
Of course.
We'll let you get back to what you're doing.
Okay.
Thanks for working here at Walker.
Yeah,
we
I'm glad
appreciate
to
so
be
much
here.
you do, all right? Okay,
Thank
we'll
you.
talk to you later.
Bye.
All right, so Daniel, here we are at the beginning of the finishing department. So this is where a lot of things get ground down. Some of the BBs off of the weld that just came from weld and fab. So right here, we actually have a chassis for our models. And we're gonna go over and see what Trevor's doing with this. Let's go this direction. Good, Trevor, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Great, good. So tell us, what are you doing here?
So this is our chassis body for our A models. What I do here is pretty much I chip and grind anything I do. This is our gas tank that holds our gas tank. So I try to make it nice and pretty before paint. So if I get like a little slag, so like you see how it's nice and shiny here. So I took a weld down. This is a weld. That's a weld right here. So I'm pretty much just knocking everything down. So when it paints, it's just one solid, smooth chassis. So.
All right, perfect, good. So what are some things they do to clean up the decks here?
So pretty much what we do when we get our decks, we start down here and we work our way up. So right here is our flush area. So we chip around this area, grind up on top. We get those burnt, these are like our burnt weld spots. So we get those cleaned up. So when we paint them yellow, that dark burnt spot will not show.
Okay.
So we try to knock those out. And then we chip all the way around here and up on top. Between two people, we can get a deck out in like 5 minutes.
Wow,
the tops.
that's awesome.
I worked here about 5 months, going on 6. I actually learned a lot from these guys. These guys helped me out a lot. They taught me everything. I'm cross-trained, and what I do here is pretty much anything they need me to be at. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for what you do. Thank you to your whole department for how you guys work on all making things look sweet and perfect for our customers when they get painted. So thank you. We appreciate
I appreciate you guys showing up. I'm happy to be here, and what Walker's done for me is really great. So
awesome. Well, thanks, Trevor. We'll let you get back to work. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. We just came from the finishing department where we saw that there's chassis that were being ground. Those chassis come down here to what we call the A line. So the A line is our assembly line where we build the GHS tractors. And today we're actually here with the supervisor, Daniel. So let's go talk to Daniel. Tell us, how long have you worked here at Walker?
So I've worked here for 7 years now. I've worked mostly on the A line, but I also worked in decks and kits for a little while too.
All right, cool. So you know all kinds of the assembly type process.
Mostly, yeah.
All right. Well, do you mind walking us down the line and showing us how the mower is made?
Not a problem.
All right.
So this is our first station here. After we get the chassis from powder coat, this is where we will start the main assembly. Pretty much what we do in this area is a lot of the basics that go into the lawnmower. Things like the final drives, the blowers, and the gearboxes.
Okay.
Mostly is what's put in this area.
Okay, cool.
This is kind of the second area. A lot of smaller parts get put on here. A lot of the details. We get the hydros put in here. That's kind of the main thing. The jack shaft. If it's a neophyte, it's the fuel pump. A few other smaller things, some switches, time delay harness, that sort of thing.
Okay. And I see here this piece of paper. This is telling us like what kind of model and what we're putting on it. Is that right?
Yep, that's just kind of how we keep track of serial numbers, any types of options that they have as far as tires, seats. If it's a power dump or a high dump or anything like that, that's how we keep track.
Okay.
So this area here is where we put the wire harness in. We put most of the belts on right here. And then once the wire harness gets put in, then he can put the engine in, hook everything up, put the belts up where they need to be, and kind of move on from there.
Okay.
Okay, this next area, a lot of smaller items, more detail items as well. We put the battery in here, the gas tank goes in, put the tail fork on, and then, you know, whether it's a wide tail wheel or dual tail wheels, kind of where that option comes into play. Put the muffler on over here, and finally, when Noel's done, he'll put the panel box on, kind of wrap things up in his area.
So it's really starting to look like the lawnmower, I feel like, right here. Like it's really starting to see a lot of the parts to it.
Yep, it's kind of where things start to come together, especially this area and the next area once we get the body on.
Okay, all right.
Okay, this is kind of where things really start taking shape. This is where we put the body on. The bodies are assembled in this area over here as a sub-assembly before they're put on over here. We put the steering levers in over here, get everything hooked up as far as switches and things like that go. From there on, it's kind of smooth sailing towards the end of the line here.
Okay.
Pretty quick area right here. Seats, tires, and then we grease everything from here. This is a really quick spot. Moves on to the end of the line right over here.
Okay.
So this is where we do most of the checking. We pretty much are able to check everybody's work from here on back. Make sure that everything is in place where it needs to be, do any adjustments we need to do. We adjust the clutch, steering levers, really anything that's, you know, hasn't been touched yet is finished in this station. From here we run the engines, set the high and low RPMs, check the blower, make sure everything's running correctly. If it's not, we'll either fix it here or, you know, set it aside and fix it later. And from here, we can drop the tractor on the ground using this hoist over here. From there, we just drive the tractor over and to this area and mount the catcher box. And from there, it goes to shipping.
Perfect. Well, thanks, Daniel. Thank you so much for showing us how the Walker mower is made. And we appreciate all that you do and your crew here, because I know it's a lot of work. And I know our customers out there love the fact that you guys are working hard to make this happen. So thank you so much. We appreciate it.
We're proud to be here.
All right, awesome.
Thanks.
All right, well, Daniel, let's move on. We're going to go over to the deck department now, okay? Here we go. Hey, Mike, how are you?
Good. You?
Good, doing good. Mike, how long have you worked here at Walker Manufacturing?
13 years.
Wow, awesome. And have you worked in the deck department the whole time?
No, kind of been around the entire factory. Started in assembly on the A line, as we refer to it. Moved my way to the B line, which back then was the Super B.
Okay.
Then spent some time in plastics, the machine shop, tech services for about 4 years, and then just recently, about 2.5 years ago, the deck department and sub-assembly. So.
Awesome, great. Well, thanks again.
Yeah.
That's great. Do you mind showing us, what are you guys working on right
Sure.
now? Okay.
Well, we are currently working on the brand new DU48-3. So
All right.
for those of you who aren't familiar with it, it's the brand new convertible deck. Does a great job at collection as well as side discharge. So it's got a removable baffle, some things that come with the deck to do that. So we're just getting started on these, so there's not a whole lot here, but we could show you some of the processes as we go along.
Yeah.
Okay guys, here we are with the assembly of the new DU48-3. Currently we have our blade spindles in and our belt tensioner. So now we're going to install the idler pulleys and our spindle pulleys. Once those are in, it'll allow us to put the belt on, be a few more steps, and off to packaging it'll go.
Perfect.
So Cody is currently building the carrier racks for the DS48-3. Cody's just getting started on these. So some of the, as an example, some of the things we have to do to this is clean up the excess powder and then start the assembly, and we'll put the bushings in, the bearings, the caster forks, some of the hardware. Once that assembly is finished there, that half-finished carrier rack moves to another assembly area where it's finished the rest of the way. So in this station, it's going to get the counterweight springs, grease, and then it's going to be ready to mount to our deck. The last part of the deck assembly is probably one of the most important, and that's packaging and getting it to the distributor, the dealer, and ultimately the customer.
Well, Tom, that was awesome. Like, I know we didn't get to see everything. Maybe we can show more of the factory processes in future videos, but you know, as Mike said, here we are in shipping.
Right.
From here, it just goes out and goes on the truck.
It does. Everything gets kind of packaged up here and then put on a truck and shipped out. So
Right.
What a great way to walk through the factory and see just what everybody's doing around here.
Totally,
It's
totally.
awesome.
It's awesome. And the pride that guys are taking in the work. You know, we talk all the time about great people doing great work
Yeah.
out in the field, but we
Yeah.
also have that within our factory team.
Yeah,
So it's
we
really
do.
cool to see.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, everybody. We hope you enjoyed our tour. We'll see you next time.
All right, see ya. Hey, nice work, Tom.
Thanks, but honestly, the folks in the shop get all the credit. They do amazing work.
Agreed. And hey, for you, actually, anytime you're in the northern Colorado area, make sure you stop by and see us. We have an open door policy and would love to be able to show you through the factory anytime. Just give us a call or send us a message and we'll work it out with you.
Hey, and maybe I'll even be able to give you the tour.
Right, or Bob Walker. He loves giving the tours.
He is amazing at tours.
Right, well, Tom, should we show off some more amazing submissions that we got this week?
Yeah, let's do it. We got a bunch of great ones this week. So let's start off with Manny Myers in Fargo, North Dakota. Manny is the owner of 5 Star Lawn Care, and I would say he just about nailed it with the name of his company. Great work, Manny. This looks amazing.
Well, hey, it looks like Manny has a neighbor just down the street who's also rocking some amazing Walker stripes. Because this is Jacob Meyer, who's just 19 years old, and he's upgraded his company to Walker mowers this year. He said this: "The Walker T25i draws attention to my properties that I maintain, and people comment all the time on how nice it looks. Walker mowers have allowed me to cut my mowing time on my properties in order to pick up new accounts." Congratulations, Jacob, and thank you for trusting us with your business. Good luck.
That's so cool. Well, since we're already up north, let's make our way up to Alaska. The AK Lawn Barber over on Instagram is showing some amazing work. They aren't letting the summer slip by. By the looks of their shots, they're loving every moment of it.
Very nice. Well, our next one comes in from Chris Hattasch in West Linn, Oregon, and it's a stunner. There's lots to love about this shot, but that Walker cross-hatching pattern is amazing. Thanks for sending in your work, Chris, and keep up the great work.
Well, Daniel, hatching is definitely a thing, because check this one out from Spike's Lawn Care on Instagram. These guys are in Minnesota, so you know that they are doing 4-season work up there. But it looks like they are making the most of the green grass while it still lasts. And one of the comments on the shot sums it up really well with, "Wow."
Wow is right. Nice shot. Well, we've got just a couple more here, so let's head over to Rick Cook in Whitman, Massachusetts. And speaking of hatching patterns, check out these lines that Rick is getting out of his S18 mower. Those look incredible. Awesome work.
Agreed. That is so very nice. Well, our last shot comes from just down the street in Boston, Massachusetts. This is Feliberto Polanco, and he is definitely mowing some amazing straight stripes. Keep it up, Feliberto.
Right. Thanks so much to all of you who submitted this week. We love seeing the great work you're doing, and we love sharing it.
So keep it coming. Just head on over to walkertalk.com or any of our social media pages and share your stories.
Right. As long as you keep posting, we'll keep sharing.
Yeah, cool. So Daniel, what do we have left for this week?
Hey, just our feature profile. So should we do this?
Yeah, let's do it. Roll clip.
Hey Tom, we're excited to talk to our friend Rob Hufford. We met him on social media, kind of like we hear a lot of our Walker fans and users out there. But the one thing that really stood about Rob is, one, he's got a really cool story, but
Right.
two, he's using a cool combo.
Yeah.
Like, what combo did you say he was using?
I think it's a B27i with a 74-inch side discharge. This is gonna be exciting to hear what he has to say.
That's like an acreage combo.
Yeah,
right
it
there.
is.
I mean, I'm sure he's killing it. But anyway, Rob is from, let's see, where's
Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha, Nebraska.
Yep.
So we're gonna get Rob in here and hear a bit of the
Okay.
story. Sound good?
Let's do it.
Cool. Rob, hey man, how you doing? It's Daniel from Walker.
And I'm Tom.
Hey guys, nice meeting you.
You too, man. It's great to see you. Hey, thanks so much for taking time to chat with us a little bit here. You know, we kind of ran across your story on social media, but just for those of those who might be watching who are seeing this for the first time, why don't you just introduce yourself real quick, kind of tell us where you're at and kind of things you do.
Sure. So my name is Rob Hufford. I am a retired civil engineering officer for the Air Force. I live in Omaha, Nebraska, and I work for Offutt Air Force Base as a civil engineer.
Very cool.
Civilian now. I don't wear the uniform anymore.
Nice.
We hear this is maybe the first Walker mower that you have owned, and we hear that you have a unique combination. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes. In fact, I hadn't even heard of Walker until about a month ago.
Wow.
And I am super excited to own one already. But no, so I own a 27, a B27.
All right, perfect.
Super B. And I got the deluxe model because I wanted to make sure I had that super nice seat with the dump bed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then I went out and I bought the 74-inch side discharge deck.
Wow. Are you cutting a lot of grass?
I'm cutting about 5 acres.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, so tell us why'd you choose that combination? Is it because of the 5 acres, or what's kind of the thought behind that?
Well, I knew I wanted a big deck when I started my search. But I also had some limitations with, in between fence rows and trees and whatnot. And, so I talked with another dealer, and they're like, "Yeah, we got 10-foot decks." I'm like, "That's not gonna work. That's a little bit big for me." Test drove a bunch of different models, a bunch of different makes and manufacturers, and got a hold of a B23 with a 56-inch side discharge. And really liked it.
Yeah.
And got a chance to mow with it 1 week. And then Don, my salesman, out in Seward, Nebraska, he was able to, he also has a 74. And after walking my property and watching me mow with the 56 the first time out, he recommended that I look at the 74 because it would fit between my areas. And also, I have a couple of hills that 74 was going to give me a little bit more stability. It was going to widen my footprint and lower my center of gravity.
Yeah.
So he brought out a 74 the next week on his 23 and let me try that. Really enjoyed it. It mowed great. It was the first demo I've ever had, and I had 5 or 6 other demos that this was the only one that actually held my hill.
Wow.
So I was kind of sold on the spot.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, it was fun because I'm still learning how to do it. Don got out there, got the B23 off the wagon, and he was doing figure eights, just zipping around on it.
Right.
I'm like, well, if he can do it, I should probably learn.
Right.
Sure.
It'll take me a couple seasons, but no. So, and then we started talking, and he mentioned that the B27 was out, and it was only a couple $100 more. And I thought to myself, well, I'm getting a bigger deck. I know the gear-driven deck is a little bit heavier. I want to be able to push it and have power. So why not go heavier? Also, because I'm in Nebraska, we have winter. And,
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably gonna get a snowblower as my next attachment.
Very nice.
Good.
Very nice. So you're actually giving a little bit of a reveal. We're currently working on an accessory attachment for the Model B, or an add-on attachment for the Model B.
Oops.
Sorry. No, it's good because it's something we're working on. And so, your demo guy probably helped clue you in on that. But that's something that's coming. It's going to be really good. And so then you would be able to get those blades or those blowers on the Model B.
Awesome. Yeah.
So
I'm
tell us
excited.
a little bit about, like you said, once you got that 74-inch deck and then you tried it with the 23, but now that you've got it actually on your 27, how is it doing on your property, those 5 acres, and how's it feeling on that hill?
It runs great, and I definitely think it's smoother on the 27 than on a 23 in terms of the deck size. By all means, the B23 worked. But I think the B27 just carries it nicer. It helps to push it because it's a gear-driven deck. But no, it runs smooth. The free floating deck is something that I wasn't used to. I've never seen, and it definitely it handles the humps and bumps of my lawn, and it runs. It runs well, and I just enjoy it.
Very nice.
Can you tell me real quick, Rob, you said that Don came out and had done a demo for you. Was that the first that you learned about Walker, was just from Don coming out and doing a demo, or did you learn of Walker did you do research on your own? How did you find the Walker?
Okay, so yeah, like I mentioned, I tried other mowers. My father had a grasshopper for many years. He had 5-10 acres that he was mowing back in Ohio, and as I was test driving mowers, I have a lot of trees and other parts of my lawn that I need to mow under, and a mid-mount mower just doesn't do it. So as I was looking at mowers, I just Googled front mount mowers, and Walker popped up, and I found that there was a dealer local meaning 2 hours away.
Right.
Local enough,
right?
At that Midwest, drive 2 hours, turn left. But no, so he was, local dealer, and got a hold of him, reached out to him on the number provided on the Walker website, and he and I started talking. He goes, "I think I have what you want." Not gonna lie, I was a little worried at first because all the pictures I saw, all the video I saw showed a single wheel on the back.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And then it also showed the catcher, on your grass catchers. And I was a little worried that was going to be too bit of not stable enough, especially for the hill. But Don showed up with a mower that had 2 rear wheels and said, "You're going to be fine." And sure enough.
So you mentioned you had some demos from some other manufacturers, and then Don came out. Tell us a little bit about the demo experience.
The demo experience was great. Don did an awesome job. Showed up, got everything off the trailer, got it all set up, showed me how the controls work. Again, never having seen one of these. Mm-hmm. And even in the videos I watched, I don't think I realized what the controls were.
Sure.
Yeah.
So he had me tool around on the driveway a bit, just at a very, very, very slow speed, trying to figure everything out and get it to where I could manage it. And then he said, "All right, cool, sweet. I'm gonna go grab dinner. I'll be back in 3 hours." That's awesome. It's gonna take that long to cut my lawn, especially at snail's pace. And so he showed back up a couple hours later, and he watched me cut the first few stripes just to make sure I was doing good, and then showed back up and said, "Okay, you're getting the hang of this. This is good." Like, gave me a few tips and tricks on how to turn a little bit smoother or faster or whatever. And but it was great. He took the time to train me, to show me some of the tricks to help me out. And then after we were done, we talked about it. And that's when he said, "Well, I think the 74 is for you. How about I bring it out next week?" And okay, let's give it a go.
Yeah,
perfect. That's great. Oh, that's really good. It's good to hear.
Yeah, it's been interesting to hear like a lot of the technicalities, because there's a lot of technicality, but there's also just that kind of beauty factor, that wow factor. Have you been pleased with the cut, the quality of what you've been getting out of that 74?
Oh, very much. That's one thing I've enjoyed. It's just other decks. Growing up, whether that be push mowing lawns or riding lawn mowers, my house, my friends' houses, like their mowers, whatever. Like, there's always stragglers. There's always mohawks here or there, or like one blade just didn't. It was laying right when you went over it, and it just didn't get cut. I haven't noticed that with the 74. I didn't notice it with the 56 either. And it's in the right light after the morning dew. You can see it's just a very clean, crisp, straight top, and it's leaving good stripes too. So I'm really liking it. It's definitely adding some beauty to my property.
Rob, I'm sorry, did you tell us how long have you had this B27i with the 74 now?
6 weeks.
6 weeks,
so
okay.
The night we bought it, was the night that I had a litter of puppies born.
Wow.
So I was doing my last test drive, and my wife came out, and she had latex gloves on, and she was waving me down. Didn't realize what that meant. I knew our dog was pregnant, but she wasn't due for another week.
Yeah.
Turns out we miscalculated. We counted the weeks wrong, and she was due that day. So I finished mowing. Don and I talked a little bit on the driveway, and then he came inside, and he got to see one of the puppies be born.
Oh, nice.
While we negotiated the deal on my B27.
That's great.
That's funny. It's
great.
funny how we associate life experiences like that.
Yes.
Well, welcome to the family. We're so glad to have you as a owner, and I know that you've already kind of dove into social media. That's part of how we found out about your story a little bit. And we understand you're a veteran. Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Also, that you're involved with the Wounded Warrior Foundation. Can you give, maybe just in a minute or so, give us a little bit of nutshell of what you do for that?
Sure. So I am a member of the Air Force Wounded Warrior Program. It is a DoD entity. It's similar to the Wounded Warrior Program, but instead of a nonprofit, we are actually an organization as part of the Department of Defense, Department of the Air Force. For them, I am an athlete, I am an ambassador, and I am a mentor.
Cool.
So as an athlete, I go and I compete at different events like the Warrior Games or the Invictus Games.
Okay.
As an ambassador, I go out and talk with different organizations, whether that be uniformed members of the military or civilians outside downtown. But I share my story, and I share how the healing process works and what adaptive sports and other forms of resiliency have done for me.
Wow.
Kind of silly, but I do enjoy the 2.5, 3 hours a week that I'm out mowing.
Good.
And it is a bit of it is a bit of a release. It is a bit of a form of resiliency for me, just to kind of zen, focus on the lines and make sure I'm going straight, but at the same time, like, it's low threat, if you will.
Yeah.
And then as a mentor, I get a chance to work with other members who are in the program, typically newer members, individuals who have recently been diagnosed or are going through their medical evaluation and potentially retirement and a discharge from the military.
Wow. That's so awesome, man. It's really cool to hear, like, not only the various things that we get to be involved in. Obviously, you're doing a ton for those veterans and those current active service members who are going through struggles. But then also just to hear how, even in a small way, that lawnmower fits in. We hear that a lot. Even we hear guys who are like CEOs or whatever. They love to still mow with their walker because, like you said, it's like that 1 hour, that 2 hours a week that nothing's going to get in the way. They can just do the thing. So that's really cool to hear.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thanks for all the work that you do with that, Rob. With that, we're so excited to be able to share your story with others. And again, thank you so much for that. We appreciate it.
Yeah, Tom, we say all the time, it's humbling to hear the stories of the great people doing great work out there, whether it's with the walker or just various things. And so, Rob, thank you so much for all you're doing. And just a gesture, the company would love to make a donation to the Wounded Warrior Foundation on your behalf. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
No, that's thank you. That is awesome. I really appreciate that. I know a lot of guys would love to receive that and reap those rewards. Appreciate it.
We'll work those details out with you, but it's just an honor to know you, to hear your story, and welcome you to the Walker family.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hey, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for adopting me.
Yeah, cool.
You're welcome.
Well, we look forward to hearing more, and we'll be in touch, all right?
All right.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Rob.
Take care. Wasn't that amazing? Rob is an incredible dude.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It never gets old hearing amazing stories from our Walker family out there.
Right. And we want to hear your story too. So make sure you hit us up over at walkertalk.com or any of our social media pages.
Yeah, send us a video, a photo, or just share a story of what you love about your walker mower, and you might be featured on our next video.
Right. Well, Tom, thanks for doing this. Great work this week. Good video.
Yeah, agreed, Daniel. And for all of our friends out there, take care and stay safe.
See ya.